Hello everyone, welcome to the course Trends, Networks, Critical Thinking Skills in the 21st Century, especially for students under grade 12, Humanities and Social Sciences. So the trend subject has actually similarities with the concepts under MIL, but kasi it talks about the current issues, the current trends, and some are talking about media. So under this trend, we are expected to attain these following objectives as we end our lesson. First is we're going to identify the process of a trend. We're going to differentiate trend from a fad. We're also going to discuss the elements of a trend and the characteristics of a trend. So before we proceed our discussion proper, make it sure that you have already written your name in the section below, and if you have any other clarifications after watching these questions and reactions, so make it sure to indicate on the comment section below so that I can answer those questions, and probably I could make a video for that, to answer those questions. So before we start, let us all answer and understand these following questions. So, ano ang period that we usually like the most, Ako personally, the period that I usually like the most is way back childhood, Everybody really likes food. Kasi doon, even though wala pa kaming mga gadgets, cell phones, and other stuff that we can instantly communicate to others, it was very, likely to be enjoyable. Kasi we are facing realities even without virtual. So, what were the changes in the standard of beauty in the Philippines for the past 100 years? The standard of beauty in the Philippines is, it's elevating, From time to time, I think way back 100 years, there's really big changes, diba? Especially on the fashion industry. So, were the changes bad? So, of course, these changes are good, diba? So, we changed for the better, and look at us now, look at the Philippines right now. We have been transformed into a very artistic country with a very artistic personalities, diba? So, ano kaya ang nag-drive sa mga changes na ito? What are the drives of these changes? Paano kaya nangyari ang mga changes way back 100 years ago? So, try to imagine the world 100 years ago, Try to imagine compared to this day. So, ano kaya ang mga nag-drive sa changes na iyon? So, sabi sa Spirit of Age, dominant ideals and beliefs that motivate the actions of the members of society in a particular period of time. So, usually talaga, the dominant ideals and beliefs are classified depending on the current issues, the current things that we experience. Diba kasi from time to time, from age to year, a lot of things changes. That's the spirit of age. And then the question is, ano ang nag-drive sa mga changes na ito? Where did we get these changes? Where did we get these dominant ideals and beliefs? Saan sila? Bakit sila? Why there are some changes that eventually disappear? Saan sila nagpunta? Anong nangyari sa kanila? Bakit sila nawala? And what are the contributions of those changes in our period of time? So later on, we will discuss that one. So, sabi sa Spirit of Age, every period has its own personality. Totoo yan. So, social trends have been part of life since the beginning of time. Society reacts to certain stimuli, whether it is a type of music, it could be fashion, or it could be an activity. So, itong mga trends na ito are not always created by the majority, but the majority of the society does typically. So, from the word itself, trend, the word trend is a common terminology for everybody. It's a common word that we hear everywhere, especially in social media. So sabi sa social trend, ang trend, it does not necessarily would come the majority, no? A trend could come from a specific person, from one person, it could be from a group, or it even could come from things. Depende kung saan siya nanggagaling. And actually, itong mga trends na ito, they give impact to the majority, no? Nagbibigay sila ng impact sa majority, not just with the majority, but in the economy, no? In media. They give impact to technology. And then these trends revolutionize and they somehow eventually be an on part, or they are the murag sila ang giginan ba, they are the source of changes. That's why there are evolutions, no? That's why there are changes, huge changes, historical changes because of these trends. So trends is a behavior, a new way of doing things, and has a big impact in our society. It is a sequential pattern of change in a condition, output, or a process, or an average or general tendency of series of data points to move in a certain direction over time, represented by a line or a curve na graph. So itong si trends, to be technical, let's define trends as a sequential pattern of change. Kasi it's a sequential pattern of change because one trend might be changed soon, no? Ang isang trend maaari siyang mawala, maaari rin siyang ma-develop pa sa pagiging isa pang trend. And then it will result to a specific that will be remarkable to a specific age or a specific time. So the process of identifying trend. So how are we going to identify trends? There are three processes, no? The first process is the trend analysis. Analysis is a widespread practice of collecting information and attempting to spot a pattern or a trend in the information. So how is this applicable? So sabi dito, trend analysis daw is a process of collecting information and attempting a spot of a pattern. Example, so bakit pumatok ang milk tea, no? Bakit pumatok ang milk tea sa Pilipinas? Actually, itong milk tea is nag-originate siya it's from Taiwan, no? It's actually it's a form of drink that is usually used for medication. Pero from time to time, that particular tea, it evolves to a milk tea at saka naging widespread siya, naging sikat siya. It's because of, the influence of the technology and the media, no? The media technology. So ngayon, kapag negosyante ka, kayo ng business mo, kailangan alam mo kung paano mag-identify ng trend. Bakit kailangan alam mo ma-identify ng trend? It's because it will help you to attain success. Ngayon, if you want to be a successful businessman, kailangan alam mo kung paano mag-spot ng trend, no? Example ngayon it's a very common thing na milk teas are everywhere. At saka ano ang mga favorite usually? What's the best flavor for milk tea? Bakit siya naging ganyan? Example sa technology. Sa technology, ang trend ngayon is pagandahan ng camera, no? Pagandahan ng camera. So usually, kung ano yung technology that offers a very quality camera, a good quality camera, so usually doon mga consumers, no? So kaya ngayon, kahit anong model ng cellphone, pagandahan ng camera kasi yun yung competition. Kailangan you know how to analyze trend. The second one is trend spotting. So in analyzing trends, kailangan marunong ka rin mag-spot ng trend, no? Spotting trend is the identification of new trends or attempting to see the future. So itong trend ba na ito will last for a long, no? Kasi merong mga instances na a specific thing result in this way or comes in this way pero they don't last a long time, no? So again, kailangan you have to keen in spotting trends, and that you can you can foresee na itong trend ba na ito, will it last a long time? No? Will it last a long time? Papatok pa rin ba yung business mo if gagawin mo to siya? So, may mga considerations. So, another one process is trend spotter. So, si trend spotter, siya yung mag-i-spot ng trend. So, this is a person who noticed and reports on the new fashions, ideas, activities that are becoming popular. So, si trend spotter could be anyone, no? It could be a business owner, it could be a company owner, it could be a plain consumer, no? It could be a plain consumer. Example kasi, example ikaw, you are a retailer, no? And then, na-feel ni mo na, ini siya na icon mo, na siya halin ni diri sa among bay. Example, dool ka sa dagat, no? Dool ka sa dagat. So, of course, so, pag magnegosyo kag kuan, magnegosyo ka dito, mamaliga ka ditong isda. So, murag lain, no? As a trend spotter, you have to know what the customer needs. Ano ang trend para sa mga customers? So, you might sell mga paon sa panagat or anything like that. No? So, these are the 6 elements and characteristics of a trend. Actually, class, no? Do not be misled kasi later on, we're going to identify the differences between trend and a fad. Kasi ang trend, this is trend, no? Ito yung trend. Trend has a revolutionary impact to the society or to the majority. However, si fad naman, fad is exists but in a shorter period of time and does not give revolutionary change. Nawawala lang siya. It's because of, pabago-bagong cycle ng life. Example, yung the existence of ALDAB, no? The existence of ALDAB is not considered as a trend. It's just a fad because from a short period of time, it lasts only for how many years, no? At saka nawala agad sila. And then, ayun, lisod pod karon, di ba halin ka ito mga t-shirt taro sa ALDAB. So, kuman, hanggang sa itong try pumaligya ka o kuan t-shirt sa ALDAB, hindi naman na mahalin. So, the number 1 element of a trend is the appeal, no? We have to know the appeal. Kasi itong appeal, siya yung it will lead the consumers what to buy and why consumers buy that trend. So, appeal is a degree of attraction that a fad or a trend causes attractive on people. It's the appeal, no? Ano ang dating niya sa mga sa majority, no? Here's the result. Pertains to the impact of a fad or a trend. It's the ability to produce a sustainable movement or change. Publicity. So, ano ang result ng trend na ito? Will it be good to the majority? Number 3 is the scope. So, ang scope is the extent of influence of a fad or a trend. So, when say scope, kung until when it will end, no? Ano ang lawak niya? Will that fad or a trend only focuses doon sa mga will it focus only doon sa teenagers? Is the audience of that trend is only for the teenagers, for the adults, for the elite, for the workers, for the students? So depende, no? Number 4 is the structure. So structure enables a fad or a trend to be sustainable. So usually, ang support talaga ng mga trends sa fads ngayon is from the social media. So siya ang humahawak, no? It spreads and also it holds a particular trend or fad. And usually, ang support, siya yung nagja-judge whether tatagal ba siya o hindi. So number 5 is the sustainability. So the sustainability is the length of time that a fad or a trend can continue to exist. So hanggang ano lang, in what particular time lang ba siya maglalast? So when will it last? How long it will last? So that's the sustainability. Number 6 is the value. Value is the utility or the usefulness that can be derived from a fad or a trend. So paano ba siya gamitin? Ano ba ang Ano ba ang usefulness ng isang fad? Ano ba ang usefulness ng isang trend? So usually kapag ang isang bagay sumikat siya at saka konti lang yung makaka-relate sa kanyang pagkasikat, usually madali siyang mawala, no? Usually it will end for a shorter period of time. Pero if a trend or a specific event or thing has a specific value to the mass or to the majority, usually talaga it will last longer. Just like look at the existence of smartphones. Diba noon, we usually have our phones nung keypad pa for only communication, for text and calling. Pero ngayon, there are existing upgrade sa mga cellphone natin where in fact ngayon ang competition is nasa camera na, no? Nasa camera, pagandahan ng camera kasi that's the audience, no? Usually ang audience natin ngayon sa mga smartphones are teenagers. At saka kung sino yung pinakamagandang camera, so siya yung pinaka marketable sa lahat. So that's the value. So ngayon, let's talk about the top 10 current trends on the internet. So ito mga top 10 that I listed. So these are actually not just existing in 2020 or 2021. So they existed before. Yung iba lang is nawala. Yung iba bumalik at ang ibang are still continuing. So number 1 is the selfie movement. So itong selfie movement, this is a common trend in the internet, no? The selfie movement is the front-facing cameras in our smartphones are changed the way we take pictures, and social apps change the way we share them. Convenient to share selfies that help countless photos editing apps available, making it a breeze to enhance our snaps before to share them. So just like what I've said kanina, in smartphones, the competition is pagandahan ng camera. So kung sino ang pinakamaganda usually kung sino ang pinakamagandang camera ng smartphones, siya yung mas marketable, just like Apple. Kapag sinabi mong Apple has the halo effect of good cameras, quality cameras. So usually siya yung mas marketable. Number 2 is the news break on social media first. So itong news break, this is a traditional media. Traditional media is now too slow. Diba, ang traditional media is already left behind because of the different existing new inventions in the world of social media. So if you want to access the latest news for the fast as possible, so ang ginagamit natin ngayon are usually Facebook, Twitter, and other sites. Diba, yung iba in our teenage today, we are not usually into television. Hindi na tayo masyadong nanonood ng television. It's because all the news are now available in the internet. No, usually nga mas una pang nag-upload ng news ang Facebook or ang Twitter compared sa ma-flash siya sa TV. So that's very accessible. So social media has changed the way we consume news and stay updated on what's happening in the real time. Of course, the problem with such quick breaking news is the issue about fake news. So ito lang yung pinaka-main concern, no? Since easy to access, information today are easy to access in the different social media platforms, ang kalaban naman natin is the fake news. No, maraming news, but the question, are these news reliable? Are these news true? So kailangan if you want to gain a concrete information, kailangan meron ka ding ability to assess whether ang information ba na nakikita mo sa these social media platforms are true or not. So meron naman tayong lots of techniques on how to detect this. So usually ako personally, when I look at the news in the internet, so when I click that one, one main consideration that I usually look is the composition, no? The composition is a news type composition kasi usually may mga uploaders ng mga information in the internet na they do not possess the ability of the news writers. So murag makita na daan mo basa pa daan murag ay dili na siya kaayo matuuhan. The second one is the author, no? Ang author, you search the author. Is that author a good source of information? May hawak ba siya sa isang media telecast na eligible siya mag-disseminate ng information? Another thing is the publication. Is it distributed by a publication that is registered, legit, or ganyan? Nanggaling ba siya sa official account ng GMA? Nanggaling ba siya sa official account ng TV5 or ng ABS-CBN? So maraming considerations, no, if you really wanted to critique whether the news is correct or not. So number 3 is the newfound love for GIF. So usually itong GIF, we read this one as GIFs, no? So it is an example of animated pictures across an image and a short video without a sound, of course, no? So itong GIF, usually ginagamit natin ito sa mga presentations in PowerPoint kasi the picture is realistic, parang it makes a picture more realistic kasi it's moving, no, in a short period of time. It's an image without a sound. A moving image without a sound, I mean. So number 4 is the hashtag. So itong hashtag, this is commonly evident sa Twitter. So naggaling talaga ang hashtag sa Twitter, no? Ang unang gumamit ng platform na hashtag is ang Twitter. Saka itong hashtag, this is called pound. So noon, nung wala pa tayong smartphones, hindi pa touchscreen, ang tawag sa hashtag is pound. So usually ang pound, nakikita natin doon sa lowest part, right corner of the keypad, which is the number sign. Although Twitter was the original network to bring the hashtag to life, others quickly picked up on the trend. So, si Twitter ang nagsimula, pinick up lang ng other social media platforms kasi nag-trend siya. So, hashtag can now be used on Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, and in all sorts of other corners of the web. It is quickly grown to become the solution for effective categorizing content based on the specific themes or keyword to make search and discover for a whole lot easier. So itong hashtag, do not be misled by the use of hashtag. Kasi usually itong hashtag, nami-misuse siya. And it's usually abused, no? Na-abuse yung hashtag. Kasi kahit walang kwentang hashtag, example, no, you go to the beach, and you hashtag water, hashtag sea, hashtag waves, hashtag stones. Usually yung iba nagpo-post, mas masyadong maraming hashtag, wherein ang hashtag na overused siya. So, how are we going to use hashtag appropriately? So, itong hashtag, sinadya ito ng mga brain of social media para to trace or to search a particular keyword. Diba? Usual example, sa every Sunday sa KMGS, diba? Use the hashtag KMGS and then your comment on a particular series. So, in that case, yung account ng KMGS, kapag ginamit mo yung hashtag nila, they can trace, no? Parang natitrace nila kung ilan ba ang example sa Twitter. When you use the hashtag, naka-count nila kung kanang mag-trend ba siya, no? 'Di ba naamantay current trend sa Twitter na mo appear sa taas kung unsa ang pinaka-latest na nag-trend using the hashtag. So, kapag maraming naggumamit ng hashtag, so meaning on trend ang isang issue or isang keyword. So, do not meron siyang specific use. It is a part where we trace keywords to make it easy to search and discover. So, number 5 is the memes or the memes. So, itong memes, this is umuso lang ang memes noong nag-exist na yung smartphones, no, yung social media. Kasi noon nung keypad pa wala pa namang memes. So ginagamit lang ang keypad nung meron na tayong mga smartphones. So the internet is now obsessed with sharing the memes, no? Kahit saan, anong social media platform ang i-open mo, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, so meron talagang mga memes. So ang memes, ginagamit siya for humor, no? For humorous intent. Ginagamit lang siya for humorous intent. So the viral power of ridiculous memes is undeniable. So we can't get enough of them, and there are tons of meme generator tools you can use to create your own and contribute to the whatever's most popular at the moment. So ito mga 3 pictures presented below. So these are the common memes that we use in the internet. Again, ang memes is only for humorous intent, no? Hindi siya masyadong ginagamit for serious matters. Number 6 is the regular people turned internet famous. So ito, yeah, it's very true, no? In the essence of the internet, in the essence of these social media platforms, daghang kayong sikat. Even the ordinary people get rich and get famous because of these internet sensations, no? It's obvious that social media has opened new doors for people to showcase their talents and attract online fan bases. So number 7 is the cloud streaming of entertainment media. So ito mga cloud streaming, this is ito yung mga common sites or mga common applications that we download to watch videos and to listen musics, no? So hindi na natin kailangan mag-buy ng mga CD, DVD. Di na natin kailangan bumili ng mga cassette to play a music because all music, all YouTube, and all videos and all movies are now available in the cloud streaming. So CDs and DVDs are now obsolete. Yung si obsolete, masyadong napag-iwanan na, di na masyadong ginagamit because of the unlimited access to all of our internet needs through the services like YouTube, Spotify, and Netflix. There's no need to have a hard copy of the digital downloaded copy of everything, and you can stream what you want from the cloud or from one small monthly subscription fee. So kagaya ng Netflix, so ikaw na kung gustong tanaw ng movie, so you need not to download movie online because you can stream it. You can stream it in the cloud streaming apps, just like Netflix. So cloud streaming sure does solve the problem of limited local storage. It is one of the fastest growing trends in media consumption today. So very good siya because, dili na siya kaayo mag-take ng lot of storage in your computer or in your cell phone kasi it can be accessed by the use of the internet now. Number 8, oversharing on the social media. So this is a common trend, no? Ano common issue? Most of us recognize how bloated the social media networking experience has become. With so many sites and apps out there promoting huge friend or followers number, instant engagement, and never-ending streams of content sharing, oversharing has become a big turn of many internet users, which is why apps like TikTok, Instagram have popped up to bring a more intimate and minimalistic experience. So, di ba sa MIL, diniscuss natin doon na kailangan you share a specific content online, dapat talaga kailangan may consent ka muna sa owner. Pero ngayon, masyadong bloated na ang sharing, no? Nagiging culture na ng mga users in the internet to no longer consult the owner of a specific content in the internet to share. Where in fact, dapat talaga siyang mag-seek ng consent. Pero ngayon, nag-overshare na. Pero ngayon, ang advantage naman niya, naglitawan itong mga apps like TikTok and Instagram. No? It's because of that, the sharing mechanism of the social users. So number 9, ang number 9 naman is, common ito na ginagamit natin ngayon kasi masyadong lazy na ang lahat. We want it to be modern. We want it to be decentralized. We want it to be easy access. So itong cryptocurrency or also known as crypto, ang cryptocurrency is run by the Bitcoin. Di ba? Alam naman natin ang Bitcoin. Ito yung online currency na ginagamit natin when we pay our bills, we buy something online. In the decentralized digital currency that started turning a lot of heads in 2013 is more people got involved with mining, trading, and spending it. Bitcoin has its fair share problems given that isn't overseen by central authority, but that hasn't stopped its growing popularity. As a result, countless other cryptocurrencies have popped up all over the web, some which seem almost too ridiculous to be real. So, if you can recall, meron tayo may mga business trading tayo that happens to give exchange amount using the Bitcoin. Kung if you can remember, kasabay sa mga naglitawan ng mga forex, mga kapa, kasabay silang naglitawan ng mga online recruitment wherein kapag nakapag-invite ka na maraming user or maraming subscriber sa isang account mo, so parang nagkakaroon ka ng income. So ang ginagamit sa currency na yan is yung tinatawag natin na Bitcoin. Pero itong Bitcoin or itong cryptocurrency, this is not connected with the government. That's why wala silang legal connection sa government. That's why if you encounter mistrading sa cryptocurrency, so kasalanan mo yan. So kasi hindi siya connected sa government. So unlike credit card, unlike mga credit cards, mga debit cards na merong legal protection sa mga bangko, kasi itong mga bangko, di ba ang cryptocurrency is only a conversion online. Iba sila sa bangko kasi ang bangko may mga pinanghawakan na batas which is connected sa government, connected sa sentro sa bangko ng Pilipinas. Di ba? They are connected. Itong mga credit card, debit card, kapag nagkaroon ka ng problema sa billing mo, like sa example, nagbayad ka ng account mo sa bill mo sa kuryente online, punta ka sa bangko na nag-a-access. So kapag may nagka-problema sa account or nawala yung account mo, so may mapupuntahan ka. Pwede mong puntahan yung pinagdepositohan mo ng pera, yung bangko, pwede ka pang mag-complain. Unlike itong cryptocurrency, kapag nagkaroon ka ng deficiency, hindi na mababalik ang pera unless if the seller or yung pinadalhan mo ng pera will return to you. So, ganun lang, no? So, kailangan, if you are using cryptocurrency, you really have to know well the seller's reputation, no? Example, meron kang binayaran ganyan online. So, you have to know kung saan papunta yung pera mo. No, where to asa siya maadto kanang tao na imong hatagan anang cryptocurrency is a reliable person, no? Basig mas scam. So sometimes marami na tayo nag-a-appear ng mga cryptojackers today. So yung mga cryptojackers, ito usually ang tinatawag natin scammer na online, no? Where they take your money and they don't give something you in return. So number 10, the last one is the Wi-Fi enabled home gadgets and appliances. So ito na yung revolutionary contribution ng internet sa buhay ng tao. No, ito na yung revolutionary. Wherein lahat ng tao has that tendency to rely everything in the internet. So as the Internet of Things becomes more mainstream, we're starting to see a lot more gadgets and household objects come from Wi-Fi enabled features. Someday, our entire homes and cities would thrive on a connected network where every device, machine, and thing can be communicated with one another to perform and automate tasks. So ito yung foresee natin, no, na kasi through internet, mapapadali talaga ang transactions. Kahit nga mga natin ngayon, mga security, no? Kahit yung mga security sa bahay, it is generated by the internet. It is generated by our cameras. So, example, wala ka sa bahay ninyo, so you can just access to your camera by the use of the internet. So, ang fad, so ngayon, let's try to differentiate fad and trends. Di ba ang trends kanina sinabi is a pattern of change, no? Kasi malaki ang pagkakaiba ng fad and trend, ha? Yung fad, it causes a revolutionary change. So, meaning it lasts a longer time. Where ang fad, sumisikat siya ngayon and eventually pwede siyang mawala bukas, pwede siyang mawala sa susunod na araw, pwede siyang mawala sa susunod na taon, no? At saka, just like yung sinabi ko example, yung sa ALDAB, di ba? Yung ALDAB, the intensifying issue of ALDAB has only last for 1 year. And eventually, after that year, it ends, nawala. So, fad is an intense and widely shared enthusiasm for something, especially one that is short-lived and without basis on the object's qualities, or it is just a craze. No? Short-lived lang siya. Fad is a product that has little or no use, but is characterized by a quick rise and sales in popularity followed by a quick decline in sales and popularity. This quick up and down in sales is because of fad products usually do not satisfy a strong consumer's need. Nevertheless, fads seldom completely die out, with some hardcore followers remaining loyal. So one example, concrete example nga of fad is yung Jejemon, no? Yung trend noon ng Jejemon, we cannot consider that one as a trend kasi it's just a fad. Kasi from our days today, so nawala na yung Jejemon. Parang, di ba, ang say Jejemon is a practice of, it's a practice of language, it's a practice of behavior, it's a practice of clothing. So let's talk about the practice of clothing. So, di ba mga Jejemon noon usually, they use hat, big pants, big t-shirts. So parang nawawala na siya sa trend. So yung mga product that boom in that particular period of time during Jejemon, so hindi na siya masyadong mabenta ngayon. So the sales decline as that fad disappeared. No? So example sa mga fad, ito. Ang fad is, example nito is the fidget spinners. So itong fidget spinner, fad lang ito. Diba? Sumikat ito way back, ano bang taon to sumikat? Basta sumikat to noon. Wala namang particular use ang fidget spinner, no? Parang ano lang siya, hinahawakan, pinapaikot, yun, sumikat. Tapos ngayon, wala na rin. So itong slap bracelets. So itong slap bracelet is an example of a fad. It's a toy for kids where nawala na rin. Sumikat konti, nawala na. Itong Tamagotchi, if you are familiar with Tamagotchi is a play. Hindi siya online, no? Para siyang, it's originated from Japan. I can still remember this when I was little. Parang ano to siya, nag-aalaga ka ng halaman. Kasi sa Japan, di ba, it is sikat talaga to sa Japan, na-adopt lang ng mga Philippines because of, migration, ganyan. Sikat to siya, it's because sa Japan, it's very, rare lang yung mga tao na nag-aalaga. Kasi as you can see, Japan, it's a very centralized and a very improved country wherein halos lahat tall buildings, malls, ganyan. So, sumikat siya pero eventually nawala rin siya. So, ang differences ng fads at saka trends, so we will discuss it now. So, ito. So, fad, highly interesting in a relative short period of time, comes and goes, short-lived, nawawala. Where ang fad is, it helps to predict a trend. So sometimes, fad help to predict trends. So sometimes, an example ngayon, may sumikat na ganyan, na isang kanta, no? So probably, it will predict a trend na maaari sunod, ganitong kanta na naman ang sisikat. Kasi siya ang sinusunod ng tao. No? Example, ganyan. Example, late 80s and early 90s. Fad, boom in the computer industry. Trend, taking computer-related courses such as computer science and information technology in the tertiary education. So since nag-boom noon ang computer industry, so ngayon ginawa na siyang courses. So meron na tayong courses. So ito, let's try this test. So example, itong ALDAB. So ALDAB is what example? Trend or fad? So it's only a fad kasi nawala lang din sila. Cellular phones from keypad phones to smartphones. So these are example of, it's a trend. Ang Jejemon, ito, in example ko to kanina. Ang Jejemon is an example of a fad only kasi nawala na sila. Look at the physical characteristics of Jeje people, no? Para ganyan sila. So ganyang mga style noon, wala na sila ngayon. Number 5, the Air Jordan shoes. So itong Air Jordan shoes, this is an example of a trend. Kasi kahit sumikat siya way before 90s pa, still they exist up to these days. Number 6, K-pop. So ang K-pop, ano ang K-pop? K-pop is an example of, I would not, judge pa kasi maari dumating yung instances or time, depending on the situation na people in the Philippines will stop idolizing K-pop products. Siguro, it's either a fad or it's either a trend. So that's it. So I hope you learn a lot about the differences between fad and a trend. And also, sa diniscuss natin na mga concepts of trends, mga elements and trends. So if you have any questions, clarifications, so you are free to comment down those questions and let's see if pwede ba siyang gawan pa ng isa pang video for answering those questions. Thank you and see you soon.